We were actually waiting for you before we kickstart the classes, our sessions today. So I don't know whether you can see my screen. Maybe you can just type it in the chat for me to just confirm that you can see my screen. Just a minute. Yeah. So just let me know if you can see the screen on my end. So that awesome. Any other person who can see my screen? Ah, fantastic. Thank you so much, Elena, for confirming. Let me just put it in slideshow format so that it's easy for us all. So welcome once again. Hope the others will join as we go on. We are going to start our sessions today, and remember we'll be having our sessions on Mondays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 11:30. For those who sent their apologies that they were not able to join in one way or another because of classes, unavoidable circumstances. We'll be doing recordings and we'll be sending on the group so that it's easy for each one of you to access the sessions and work on whatever tasks we assigned. So my name is Aisha once again, and I'm part of Pwani Techno Girls. Professionally, I'm a website developer, and I'll be happy to take you through basic steps of creating web design together with my colleague Joanne. We have planned ahead very interactive and engaging sessions with you so that by the end of 2 months, you are able to go ahead and develop your own website. So without much say, let me dive in so that we are able to move according to what we planned for you today. So our classes today, we are beginning, before we even look at what website development is, or we dive into the classes, maybe I wanted to ask you a question, like, in your own words, how can you describe the internet? In your own words, maybe you can just type it on the text on the chat side, like, how can you describe the internet? Like, when we're talking about the internet, what comes to your mind? What do you think of? For me, let me start by, like, from my end. Whenever I think of the internet, I just think of these social handles, by the way. I think of Facebook, Twitter. I think of all this amazing information that I can get online. Sometimes when I think of the internet, the only thing that comes to my mind is Google. That's my honest opinion. So maybe from your end, like, roughly, when we're talking about the internet, what comes to your mind? What do you like? What do you think about the entire concept of internet? Maybe you can just type it. It's a free world. I can say, like, feel free to no comment, no suggestion is stupid, or it's not all the what do we call, like, all the comments or the suggestions you have, all of them are valid. So whatever that comes to your mind, just feel free. Uiweke tu kwa chat and we'll be happy to go ahead and discuss it more. So for me, when I think of the internet, I just think of, a way I can access information. I can order stuff through the internet. That's what comes to my mind. So Ongari is saying resources for information, news, research, YouTube, and blog. Thank you so much, Ongari. Yes, definitely. Like, the internet is like a village, isn't it? A small village where you can get everything and anything at any time. So basically, we can just go ahead and start. Like, the first thing we'll talk about is how the internet works. Like, how does the entire idea of internet work? So basically, when you think of internet, you think of just interconnected computers, eh? But they have unique addresses to communicate with each other. It's like the normal computers we have at our offices, at our home place. But the difference is that the computers that we are talking about, these are powerful computers, number one. And then the other thing is that these computers are interconnected in a way that they can communicate using a unique address. Now, that communication is what brings about the exchange of information, getting doing your own research, getting access to images, to videos, to any resourceful information. So there are some terms that are very much associated with the internet. So before we dive into to do the HTML, to learn how to create websites, we have to be aware of these terms, like, because I'll be using them sana. I'll be using them mostly. So it's very important that at least if you are not aware of them, you are able to understand what they basically mean. The first one is the domain. Basically, the domain is like, for instance, we have a website called pwanitechnogirls.org, isn't it? Like, I can even type it here. Our official website is Pwani Techno. Let me just type Pwani Technogirls. I'm very sure it will come. So can you see what is written here? This address here. Okay, http://pwanitechnogirls.org. That's what we mean by a domain. A domain is just like, it's like a unique address that leads to our website or redirects someone to our website. You will never find a domain that is similar to pwanitechnogirls.org. This is a unique name or address that we have been assigned to, and we are the only ones that have access to this address. So basically, that's what a domain is. As you can see, example there is weather.com. We have facebook.com, we have Twitter, we have the rest. We have so many of these domains that are out there. So whenever you see www.maybe aisha.com, that is also still a domain, because basically that's a unique address that is helping someone identify where resources are stored online. Remember, in the internet, everything is stored online. So for someone to access my information, they have to have a home to my place, isn't it? It's like you are going somewhere, you have to have a home, you have to have the address to reach that place. And for you to reach there, you have to basically follow the address. The same way, if you want to access certain information about our organization, or maybe Facebook or Twitter, you'll find yourself accessing that domain, because it's like the address, the specific address that was assigned over the internet. Then we have a browser. A browser is just a piece of software or a tool that helps you now access that information over the internet. Without a browser, you cannot access information. Even if you are on your phones right now, if you're even using your phones, you'll find that kuna Play Store account where you can download Google Chrome app, there's Mozilla, there are so many browsers out there. By the way, we also have the Edge, the internet. I can even show you on my end. This is the one. If you can see my taskbar here, you can see the Edge. It was actually called Window Explorer, but they updated it a bit and they renamed it to Edge. All these are browsers, and they are powerful tools that are there to assist you to browse or access information online. Now, the browsers are of different kinds. Each browser has its own strengths, I can say, and they have their own tools also that support website development. So as we go on, you will learn that there are amazing tools that are out there that come along with these browsers that can help you in designing your website. Then we have HTTP. As you can see, Kenakopon Technicals, you can see HTTP. It's written HTTP, but it has S. Now for the HTTP, it's just an abbreviation, and it's used to set rules. It's like, this is the one that is able to transfer texts, videos, images. Because if you are accessing information, that information has to be what? It has to be transferred, isn't it, to you? And the rule or the protocol that they use over the internet is hypertext transfer protocol. Now, for the reason why Pwan Technogirls has S is that it's just so that it has been secured. So when you visit a website and you find that it's just HTTP without an S, be concerned, because it might not be a secure website. I'm not saying that it's 100% insecure, but just have that, it's a red flag. Like, in the current world we are in the current era, every website has to be secured, and there are technologies that are set there to secure them. Now, once the website is secured, you'll find the S bit of it here. then it will assure you that whatever content you are accessing or whatever portal you are visiting is secure. Then we also have URL. URL is an address scheming, like what I've talked about here, pwanitechnogirls.org. This is the URL for our organization. You can have your own URL. Maybe if you're Tabitha, you can call it Tabitha at Tabitha, www.tabitha.co.ke. So that's a URL. Then we have the www part aspect of it. So the www part or the www aspect of it basically is trying to say that www means World Wide Web. It's trying to tell you that these are interconnected systems of public of web pages. These are web pages online and they're interconnected together. So these are actually terms that you have been coming across. Like you cannot access Facebook without noticing that it's written www.facebook.com, www.ponytechnocals.org, even the website of your university or the colleges you have been to. So these are terms that you have been very maybe familiar with, but they are very important for you to understand where this idea, this concept is coming from, so that we can move ahead. Because when we'll be when we'll be doing our sessions today, I'll be telling you like, okay, visit your browser. Okay, at this point you'll be able to know, okay, this is a browser and this is actually what it does. So after knowing what basically those terms associated with the internet, the next important thing that we are supposed to be aware of before we dive into our first coding session today is, what is a website? Like we have been talking about, visit my website, visit my online portfolio, but still all those are websites. Someone creates an online CV. It's a personal website because websites are of different kinds. All of them are aligned to the concept of websites. So the websites are a collection of different web pages, okay? And they are brought together so that they're able to give access to information. For instance, if you find yourself Googling about the nearest hospitals around, you'll find that maybe you'll find a portal whereby you'll get all this information. If you want maybe to visit a certain hospital or a certain restaurant, the first thing, if you are in this era, you'll ask is, are you online? Do you have a website? Like, it shows credibility, isn't it? So once you go in, you are able to get more information about the restaurant in terms of the images, the videos they have, the information that they have, so that you're able to make informed decision right from the comfort of your home, whether you'll be able to go ahead, visit the restaurant, or maybe you can opt for another restaurant. So why are websites important? I have a small video here that will display, will show you what basically why websites are very important, and then I will stop there. We now go ahead and now start learning how to create the websites themselves. Awesome. Let me just go ahead. I hope my audio will be loud enough. Please let me know if you feel like audio is loud enough. So there you go. Awesome. So I think you already now understand why we actually need websites. Like in the current era, even a small business, even a small concept that you have, it's very important to put it online. Number one, for credibility. Number two, for visibility. You want to reach out to more customers, right? Like, so it's very important, like as a businesswoman, maybe as a person who has, you know, an idea, or who's doing something for herself, it's very important to have a website. And actually, it's also good to have your own personal website that talks about you. You are not bragging, but what you're actually doing is you're putting your professionalism online there. So that it's very important for people to understand, like, if it's Joanne, who's Joanne, what's her skill sets. Nowadays, people don't write the normal CVs we write on the papers. People have gone online. Someone will just tell you, hey, check my online portfolio. And then they just used a little bit of, you know, the skills they developed in website development. They go ahead and now create their own portfolios. So basically, that's why it's very important in this era we are in to have a website. So the next thing that is very important is, now that we know what a website is, and we know the importance of websites, the next thing is, what are the tools now can we have in our hands to create websites? The first important thing is to have a web browser. That's a very important software. So the web browsers I said are Mozilla, Edge, and Chrome. And also we have Safari. I think we have so many of them. But now for this particular one, we'll be using mostly Mozilla and Chrome, because those are powerful browsers that come with various features that can support what we are doing. Then the second thing is command lines. That is the version control, and the for now we will just skip the version controls, but rather we'll go to the text editor. We want to, like, for us to communicate with the browser. Remember, there's certain communication here. You are trying to tell the browser, hey, whatever I'm trying to create is a website. It's nothing else but a website. So you have to command it, isn't it? And how do you give it command? Via text editors. Okay, so in the text editors, you type your code, then the code you save it, and then you run it, then the browser is able to display, okay, based on whatever you have written. Then we also have the browser developer tools. Those are the ones I'm talking about now. Google Chrome, they have various developer tools. I'll share them on the WhatsApp group. Like, they have various tools that can help you pick colors, because sometimes you have a client that comes with a color of this sort. This is not the real blue, isn't it? This is something, okay, it's a version of blue, but it's not the actual blue. Okay, so you cannot just go and command the browser to tell it, you know, I want blue color. It will show you the dark blue. So you have to pick exactly this color the client wants. So Google Chrome and Mozilla have very powerful tools that can pick colors for you, so that you create what exactly maybe your client wants. Then we also have image manipulation softwares. These are, you know, software that can help you, you know, edit photos. For Adobe and yeah, Photoshop, it's actually premium most of the time, but we'll share with you open source platforms where you can edit your images, you can create very nice impressions before you put it on your website. So that is also very important. Fantastic. Now, this is where I really wanted us to go into. Now that we know what a browser is, we know what the function, what a browser will do for us. We know that we have to communicate with the browser via a text editor, isn't it? Now, the browser for us, like for me, I understand Kiswahili and English, right? When you communicate to me in maybe another local language, it's super hard for me to understand, like, what is so and so saying. It's the same way with the browser. The browser wants to create a web page for you, but it doesn't understand what are you talking about. Like, you cannot just go ahead and type, hey browser, I want a website. No, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use a certain language to communicate with the browser. What is that language now? The language itself is the one that is called HTML. Sijui kama mshaisikia sana, hypertext markup language. In HTML stands for hypertext markup language. So basically, what HTML does is that it is a language that is used in creating websites. So the text editor will only understand HTML, nothing else. It doesn't understand anything else except for HTML. Okay, so that's how we will be communicating between the browser and the text editor. So for now, the first task I want us to do is we need to remember we said we have to have a browser and we also have to have what? A text editor. I intentionally installed my text editor because I really wanted us to do the process together. We have various text editors that are out there. We have number one, we have what we call Sublime Text. And I love this because of its appearance, and it also has autocomplete properties. Like if you are looking for a certain tag, it autocompletes for you. We have Sublime Text. We also have Notepad plus plus. So it's not only one. We have so many, by the way. But these are the most popular ones for beginners. Okay, but Sublime Text is so powerful. Like it can write super amazing codes for every platform or for every tool that you're using. So I want us to all visit Sublime Text. Let me just put it in the group. I want us to use Sublime Text. I will just put it in the chat section, sorry, so that you're able to go ahead and download it. So you just download it for Windows. I believe each one of us has a Windows. For those who have Mac, maybe you can just let us know. Um, so it's downloading. Let me just give it a minute or two.
Uh, Aisha, sorry.
Yes.
We can only see the slide screen.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry, let me now. Oh, yeah. I know the reason why, because when I shared, I didn't share the entire screen. I just shared a certain window. Let me just go ahead and reshare again. I am resharing now. I think I will select all of them so that it is easy. But let me just share this then. Okay. Are you seeing my screen now?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Joanna, for that. So basically, this is the Sublime Text website. So once you visit it, there is a download section. Once you go to the download section, is you are able to download it. For those who are using Chrome, mtaona section ya downloads hapa. If you cannot see it in your Chrome or your Mozilla, you can always visit your download section in your computer. This is the download tab. You'll definitely find it there as well. So I'm giving you 2 minutes to go ahead and download it, and then we can go ahead and now start installing the tool together. So thank you so much. Let me just give you 1 minute to download. Once you are done, please let me know. Awesome. Have you all installed maybe? Anyone who's experiencing troubles downloading it, please let me know. We will see how we can help. Anyone who's experiencing maybe troubles downloading the Sublime text, and please, if you cannot see my screen, let me know. I can always like reshare. Let me stop sharing. I want to share the entire window so that it's easy to move from one position to another. Awesome. I hope you can see my entire screen now. I think I've been sharing just a single screen. That's why it has been hard moving from one tab to another. So if you have all been able to download the Sublime text, you'll find that when you go to your download bar on your computer, on your browser, you'll find it there. You can as well go in your taskbar. This is the taskbar. You can go to Windows Explorer. This is the entire Windows Explorer. So you can visit the download section, mostly by automatically actually. Once you download a file, an image or a video or any item from the internet, it usually automatically comes to the download section, unless you customize to your browser in a way that it goes to a certain folder. But if you haven't customized like you'll just find yourself having your image, your video, your software tool in the download section. So here it is, mine, Sublime Text is here. So I'll just double click on it so that I'm able to go ahead and install. So I'm just say yes. And then, yeah, that's the area I wanted to install it. That's the location. So I'll just say next, and then in just 1 minute, you are able to install the Sublime text. Fantastic. Once you install it, you'll find that it is automatically going to open. So let me just check on the chat section if you're having troubles maybe. Oh, you're having troubles maybe. Can you check your internet when you're okay? Are you on Windows first? Okay, can I unmute anyone, or either Tabitha or Wanyoke? Wanyoke, you can tell me like what the problem is. Like, is it internet? Is it that you're not using Windows? Feel free to unmute yourself. I think we have that option of you unmuting yourself.
Yes, we are having troubles downloading Sublime Text.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
Yes.
I'm on Google Chrome. I'm on Chrome,
Oh,
but I'm
you're on
having
Windows?
I'm using Chrome, but
Uh-huh.
I'm having trouble downloading it.
Oh, like what trouble? Like, is it saying download failed, try to reconnect, or is it? Mm-hmm,
Okay, I've gone to the link
mm-hmm,
where to download Sublime Text.
mm-hmm.
Now the option of downloading has appeared, but when I click it, doing nothing else. I'm currently on the screen that's showing
Okay.
on your end. Yeah.
Awesome. Could you maybe perhaps refresh your website? Let's check maybe
What?
if you could refresh your website, because it's funny that if you could just restart your website, sorry, if you could restart your browser, and did
Yes.
you click on this one? This that says download for Windows.
No, I didn't click on that.
Could you
So
please?
let me go back again.
Okay, no problem. You could just go back and then click on download for Windows and it will
Mm.
automatically start downloading. Sawa.
Okay, even if I'm using my phone.
For the phone, no, if you want to download, actually, one of the requirements for the session is that you have to have a laptop because
Okay.
if you're using a phone, the phone is not powerful enough to support whatever we are doing. That's why maybe you're having even troubles downloading.
Okay, for today, can I just
Yeah, you can just
listen
listen in. Yeah, it's
later?
fine.
Yeah.
Sure.
Then the next session I'll have my laptop.
No problem, my dear. That is awesome. So I'll just listen in, and then next
Yeah.
time, by the time we meet on Thursday, I'm very sure you'll have
Yeah.
installed everything, and you have or maybe worked on one, two, three things that you have already done. Sawa.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you too as well. Awesome. Anyone else who's experiencing problems, please, I want us to communicate via chat. Like let's do it. Just say like I've downloaded it so that I'm able to understand like yes, my girls have successfully downloaded and installed the software. So the software tool. So please just tell me it's not actually a software, it's just a tool that not a big software, it's just a small tool that can help to it helps you communicate with your browser. So anyone else? Oh wow, Sharon, that's nice. Oh Tabitha, great to hear that you have downloaded it. Anyone else? Fantastic, Lena. Awesome. I can see that we have tech gurus here. Everyone has downloaded, I believe. Anyone who hasn't downloaded, please put it on the chat section, sorry. And my colleague Joan is also there to assist. Okay, for those who have downloaded, have you tried installing it? Because I've also installed mine. I've downloaded it and I've managed to install. So please let me know once you have managed to install. I'm giving you 2 extra minutes. Just install it, bio, so that you can go ahead and write our first line of code. Woo! It's already exciting. Now we are getting to the to the to the bigger what to the actual thing that brought us together. So I've installed mine. So now I've just I'm double clicking it to open it on my screen. So for those who haven't installed it, nice, Rahma, great, awesome. I believe each one of us has now installed. Now this is where the actual work comes in. Yeah. So have we all like sort of opened Sublime Text? Let's open it. Just after you have installed it, you can always go to your search button here in the system and just write Sublime Text. It will definitely come up, and then you see a black screen. They say women are always afraid of black screens, but that's not true, right? Black is beautiful. I love this screen, but you can actually make the changes to the color you want. But now, right, let's now get to work. So we have the Sublime Text. We have so many options here. We have the file enables you to create a new file. If you want to open an already existing file, perhaps you've already had a file, you want to open it, you can open it there. Once you write your line of code, there is an option for saving and all that. So for us, what we will do, we will first, since you have already opened Sublime Text, leave it like that, okay? Just leave it open. The first important thing is always, we women are so organized, isn't it? Guess what? The web is also organized. Coding, if you are a coder, you have to be organized so that you are able to understand and, put the codes that belong together in a certain place, isn't it? So the first important thing is for you to actually do this, write these codes, communicate with the browser here and there. You have to first have a folder where you're putting all your information in. So it's very important at this point. The first important thing is we go ahead and create a folder. Now creating folder is very simple. I believe each one of us knows, but we will do it practically together. I'm just minimizing this tool so that it's easy for me to go ahead and create a folder. I am going to create my folder in my documents. For those who prefer doing it in the desktop, please go ahead. But I always prefer doing it in my documents. I feel like my desktop will be so crowded. You know, desktop ikiwa na tu mambo mob from this screen to here. Hey, it just shows that you are very disorganized, right? So I'll just right click and then it says new. There is an option for new, then folder. And then we can call it, we can all give it a name together. We can call it website. Okay, let's call it website altogether. So that is the folder we have. Remember your folder and the location. The name of the folder and the location is very, very important. Okay, fantastic. So anyone who has managed, please go ahead. Anyone who has managed to create a folder, let me know. Sorry. Anyone who has managed to create a folder, let me know. For those who are joining us right now, oh, it's okay. Later, maybe. Okay, no problem. No problem, Jennifer. Awesome. For those who are joining us, karibuni sana. Hatuko mbali. We have just started and we are creating a folder for our website. We have downloaded a tool called Sublime Text. This is it. You can take time to download it and then we are now creating a folder. Awesome. So I have already created mine. So let's keep chatting. Once you are done with a certain task, you tell me I am done so that I'm able to go ahead. Kindly zoom your screen a bit. All right, my dear, let me do that. Just a minute. I'm not quite sure where I'll be able to get the zoom. I really hope I'm able to. Just a minute. Let me stop presenting first. Hope you can. Awesome, Tabitha done. Great, great, great. Hope you can now see more clearly. I tried zooming, but I'm not quite sure if it's going to work. But I will figure out. Okay, I'll figure it out. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. All right, cool. We already have our folder. Please, we can't proceed without you creating the folder. So please ensure that you have folder in place, okay? So the next thing we are going to do is now we'll go back to our Sublime Text, okay? We want to create a file that we're going to save in that particular folder, okay? The specific folder that you have created. So you will go to File, then you'll go to New, because we're creating a new file. Once you click on new, you can see that it's written untitled here, right? The file has been created for you, but it's written untitled, meaning you haven't named the file. So once you have created the file, the most important thing is first you save the file. And when you're saving the file for the first time, you save it as save as. If it's you're making changes on the on you're editing the already existing file, you'll find yourself mostly using the save file. But for now, we'll use what? The save as file, okay? So we'll go to file, then we'll click on save as, and then I will specifically go to my folder called websites, okay? Now, this is where the actual thing comes in. Now we have to name our file. And we have to give it a certain extension for the browser to understand that I am dealing with an HTML document. I'm not dealing with a PHP. I'm not dealing with a Python. Those are all programming languages, okay? The browser has to be told like, hey, whatever file you are interacting with at this moment is HTML. So we usually call it, you can give it any name, but I prefer calling it index because it's the first page you're creating. So index.html. The .html is so important. For the other name, you can call it Aisha, you can call it your name, but for the .html is it's the most important thing, because that is the only way the browser will be able to understand that whatever that is going to be written in this certain file here is actually HTML document, and I have to interpret it as HTML. So it's very important you write it at .html. Okay, so you just save it as index.html. Then you click save. Once you click save, fantastic. You can see it has changed here. It's written index.html. So can we take like a moment to do that? And once you're done, you tell me on the chat. It's very important for the basic. We just go together so that at least you know the process. And then from there on, now we can be going chap, right? Because I know we are all intelligent. Cool. Now, anyone who's experiencing problems, let me go back to my chat. I hope you have all managed to download. For those who haven't, because of the fact that they haven't joined using their laptops, please do so. And then we remember this session is recorded. There are amazing ladies out there who didn't manage to join but are really into it. We are going to send the recorded version of it as well. So awesome, that is very nice. So that at this moment we have created our file. So the first step is download Sublime Text. The next step is create a folder, project folder, and then the next step is create a file in the Sublime Text and save it in the created folder. That is those steps are very important. They will help you as you also go and create maybe another document, another HTML document in future, that is. So already we know what HTML is, isn't it? We know what HTML is, and we know that HTML is the language that the browser uses to communicate with the language that we communicate with the browser. So there are some concepts we need to learn about HTML, like for instance, if I say element, tags, attributes, but before we come into that, we have to still tell the browser again that just a minute. Awesome. So we have to tell the browser again that yes, this file iko na extension ya HTML tumeshakubali. The next thing we have to tell it is that the browser, we have to describe, like we have to write a certain code there juu that is uniform for all the HTML files. Any HTML file that you are planning to create, you have to have that syntax. What I mean by syntax, this is a new language I'm sure I've brought to many of you. Syntax is like a language. You know, nikisema kuwa I understand your syntax, I just mean that I understand your language. We are communicating, isn't it? So for the browser to communicate with with this tool and you communicating with the browser, there's a certain syntax you have to use, and that syntax is what we are calling the skeleton of HTML. Like it's a skeleton. It's trying to skeleton. Unajua, each one of us has a skeleton, isn't it? Whether you're white, you're black, you're this, different sizes, but at the bottom line, we all have skeletons. We all have bones. The same thing with this. Despite any kind of HTML, whatever HTML document you're creating, you have to have the skeleton. You have to have the base in it, and whatever code we are going to write right now, it's going to appear in all your HTML documents. Okay, so let's try writing it together. So since we are all in our Sublime text right now, we have this, sijui kama mnazijua in maths. What are they called? Who can tell me? You can just unmute yourself and tell me. Who remembers this? But they always used to confuse me. I didn't know which one was greater and which one was lesser. So I used to always get confused while I'm in the exam room, especially. You know, unataka pass maths and then these things now bring problems. So we have this lesser. I don't know which one is lesser. And mathematicians in the class, you'll help me a little bit here. I need help. So we have these two greater and less. They're called greater and less in mathematics, but guess what? In the coding world, they're called tags. Let me just write it here. Don't write. I'm just writing so that you understand what I mean. Tags. These are called tags. Okay, because in an HTML document, sometimes you want to tell the browser, I want an image. You want to tell the browser, you know, I'm inserting an image. How will the browser know that you're inserting an image and not a text? How will the browser know that whatever you're doing is an HTML document? How will the browser know that whatever you have put is a quote? How will the browser know that whatever you have put unataka kuweka bold? Like the way we, you know, in Word, we just go for the bold section, isn't it? You click pop and then the item turns bold. But for this one, you are actually literally communicating with the browser and telling it, I want it to be bold. So you have to have a certain tag and tell it, make it bold, make it italicized, make it paragraph 1, make it heading, insert an image, you know, something of that sort. And that is what we call tag. I can say tags are more of like literally instructions you're trying to give the computer, I mean the browser. So we have, these are the tags we have. Okay, so when we are first writing our first HTML skeleton, what I mean by skeleton, I hope by now you know, it's like each one of our documents will have this. It's written, it's exclamation mark, then doc type, and then we have HTML. I'm moving a little bit slower so that it's easy for you to look at how Sublime Text is. Isn't this beautiful? Just look at it. We have the colors. It's so colorful. The codes are written in form of color. Okay, the codes have different colors. So make error utajua, oh, there's an error here. Okay, so this is the first important thing you're telling the browser. Hey, gather, everyone gather here. We are creating an HTML document. Not any other document, but HTML document. Then hapo tu chini unakuja unaandika tag nyingine HTML. You're still telling you, sorry, I think nimeandika, okay. We are still, you know, communicating with the browser and telling it, you see, I'm still in HTML. So I think I wrote HTML. Fantastic. Awesome. Cool. So we have written that. Are we together? So we have written that HTML. And then the second thing, you have to write huku chini. You have to close the HTML. This is what I mean by close. You see, automatically it has closed for me. There's an opening tag and a closing tag. It's like you're telling the browser, within this compound here, we can call it compound for now, within this here, it's where you can write your HTML codes, because you have opened the HTML and you close the HTML. This is how you close a tag. Okay, you have the greater and less than, but you have the slash. The slash is actually going to do what? Close the entire HTML document. Okay, so far this is what we have done. Okay, now we want a heading. We want a title, sorry, for our page. Remember, each page has to have a title. Okay, so if you want to give your page a title, within the HTML there's a tag called title. Don't worry, we'll share more resources on. There are so many millions of tags there. Okay, if we are to exhaust them, we can't. Are you seeing the amazing thing about Sublime Text? Once you write a tag, it automatically closes for you. So within the title, this is where now you write your title. So you have to write it within the title tag, because you're telling the browser, hey, I want a title, and it has to be within the title tag. It will just write for you whatever that is within the title tag. We can call it, I can just say, our first website. So this is the text that will be type called HTML. The second thing we have to tell it is that this is HTML. It has an opening and closing tag. We closed it. And then we are telling it within the HTML, we want a title for our web page. And we wrote the title there. And now the title will be displayed. But I hope we are on the same page. Anyone who's experiencing troubles, remember we haven't saved our file yet. We just saved the empty file, ilipokuwa index.html, right? We haven't saved this text. So once we have written the code, we have to first go ahead and save it before we view it in our browser. Okay? Awesome. So anyone who has finished, maybe, sorry, I'm moving a little bit slow for now because I really want you to understand what tags are. It's very important. And once you understand the concept of tags, it becomes super easy for me to even give you assignments and tell you, go ahead and create tables from HTML. Go ahead and create something else from HTML apart from these basic things that I'm teaching you. So anyone who's stuck? Anyone who has finished? Let's chat. Let me just go to my chat section so that I'm able to see. Anyone who has... Oh, thank you. Tabitha was telling me it is lesser than... Tabitha ulifanya maths vizuri. Some of us had troubles all the way from high school. Like in exams, I used to always have troubles differentiating between great and less. I'll just go back again to my texts. I don't want to distract you. Let me just go back here because I'm very sure most of you are trying to copy exactly what I've written here. So please go ahead. Then once you are done, you just click on save. Can you see save? It's not save as. Save as, wajua ikiwa new, it's a new file you save as. But this is already an existing file. You just want to save the content you have written here. So you go to file, S, that file save, or alternatively, for those short, for those people who want to use shortcuts, you can always go to, on your keyboard, you can click Control and S at the same time. So unashika Control button and S, it will automatically save, okay? So maybe I'm confident that my file is saved. Are you confident? So take your time. Then once you are done, at least one or two mkinionyesha kwa group that you are actually doing it, it becomes super easy. Tabitha, Sharon, Rahma, where are you? Lena and the rest of the amazing ladies. Any challenge you're experiencing maybe? Please let me know. You can always unmute yourself. Let me try zooming it for you. Sijui kama mnaona sahi. I've zoomed. Hey, hii si kuzoom, nimezoom. Awesome. I'm just zooming it so that at least it becomes easier for you, for those who are not seeing it. Maybe mwingine labda anaona kwa mbali vitu zimekaa dots. It becomes super easy for you to save it, to write the code. Oops, sorry. Yeah. Fantastic. So I think I'll just go again, Control and save. I'm saving my document. And then what I will do next, now that I've saved, I will try running it, okay, or viewing it in a browser. Are we together? Let's first of all wait for, I really request you to tell me like kama mume manage so that we all move together. Anyone? Let me just go to the again and see. Oh, done, Lena. Oh, awesome. Oh, Wanyoike, did you have zoomed the entire screen? I hope you have managed to see what I'm actually writing. Sorry for those who haven't managed because maybe the texts were very tiny. Please go ahead. I think now you can see it. Nice. Now that we are done with writing our first title. So what we do is there are many ways you can still open your project. The first way I can show you is you will go to your desk, to your, what is it called? The taskbar. Do you remember our taskbar? And do you remember where you saved your folder? I remember mine. I saved it in the document and I called it website. So I'm going to look for it, blah, blah, blah. Yes, look at it. The file was saved with an icon in your browser. You know why that happened? It happened because we specifically told the computer that this is an HTML document. So once you tell it that it's an HTML document, automatically the default browser will be picked. My default browser meaning Mozilla. So Mozilla was picked. If it's Chrome, you'll find the Chrome icon there. So this is one way. You will go to this is the longest way actually. You'll go to your website, to your folder, and then what you do? You just click, you automatically double click. You just double click, and then you see it opening in a browser. But now you have opened it in a browser, but you're not seeing anything, isn't it? There's nothing like displayed here because we haven't written anything in the documents section yet. Sorry, in the body section. Okay, this is called the body. Okay, this is the body as you see. But so far, what we have done, let me go back to my text editor, is simple. We have just written a title for our website. I think there's an incoming text. Done. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Tabitha. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is now we have to tell our body. We're still within the HTML, but outside the title tag. There's a tag called body. Now let me tell you something about this body that we're talking about. Just look at how beautiful Sublime Text is. Nimeandika tu body image close automatically. This is how you close a tag, and this is how you open it. Now the body, let me go back to my browser. Where did I open my file? You know, I have so many things open. I needed to know where I opened it, but it's fine. I can still open it again. Where did I open it today? Yeah, my default browser is Mozilla, so it was opening with Mozilla. Let me close all the other files. Let me close all the other files so that we don't get distracted. Close all other tabs. Yeah, I've closed. Bye-bye. They're all, yeah, awesome. So let me just bring it here a little bit. Yeah. So body, this is the body. Body is what will be displayed on your web page. Okay, that's what we mean by body. So you have to tell the text editor again, like, yes, we are in the body section. Okay, or whatever we want to write has to be within the body. Okay, the body is like the screen of the web page. Okay. So if you want to test if your body is working, The first thing is, I told you there are so many tags you will learn today, isn't it? One of them already you have learned is the HTML tag, that is telling the browser, hello, we are in HTML. The second one is the title, is telling the browser, please write for me a title. And the title is not written within the body. The title is for the website. Then we have the body. The body, you're trying to tell whatever that is here, please, dear browser, display it. Okay, you're literally communicating to it that way. So the first thing we'll write is a heading. We want to know how to write headings in HTML, because as you can see, if you realize, if you have been using Word, there is heading 1, heading 2, isn't it? You just click somewhere and then the text automatically changes to heading. But guess what? Here you are actually coding it. You are the one who is instructing and doing the hard work in this particular scenario. So we have headings. We have heading 1 to heading 6. Heading 1 is the biggest heading, the biggest. Then heading 6 is the smallest one. Okay, so heading, you don't write heading in full, you write H1. Can you see it's automatically, it's coming in? So within the heading 1 tags, you can write hello world. Let's just write hello, or let's write Happy International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Month. Happy International. Sorry, mine are written in capital. Let me just, don't worry. Just write them in. We don't want them to shout like that. Happy International Women's Month. Great. That's our first heading. You see, I've opened the heading. I've also closed. Okay, it's very important. Once you rule number 1, once you open a tag, you have to close it. But there are certain special tags you'll come and find out that they don't need opening and closing. But 90% of them, rule number 1, once you open a tag, you close it. The ones that do not need opening and closing, I'll definitely be telling you about them. Awesome. So once you have written that, Control S or file, save again. Whatever, anything new that you type, you have to save it for it to be reflected in the browser. So let me go back to my browser first. I just want to show you what will happen. It's there, Happy International Women's Month. Awesome. Can you see it? It's working, isn't it? Great. For those who haven't managed to type, please go ahead and type. That is heading 1. Now you can explore heading 2. Let me go ahead and write heading 2. I told you the bigger the greater the number, the smaller the heading. Okay. Heading 2, it has automatically closed. I'm going to write the same text, so I'll just copy. Control C, I'll just copy it here. Awesome. Then I save it again. If I don't save, remember, it won't show in my browser. So I'll just come and refresh it. You see, it's showing, but in the font size imepunguka, si ndio? So as you go by the headings, you'll find that the texts become a bit smaller in size, okay? So these are headings. And if you can see in the browser, the headings are in bold. Automatically the browser identifies them as headings, so it automatically bolds them for you. Okay, so that is one important thing I wanted you to learn today. Then the second thing I wanted you to learn is paragraphs. We have headings. After headings, we always have paragraphs in words, isn't it? So you come here, you can write a paragraph anywhere, but I prefer writing it just below the nini. You open and close the paragraph, of course. I told you rule number 1, once you open a tag, you close. This is how the paragraph tag is written. Okay, this is how the paragraph tag is written. So paragraph, maybe you can say, this is my first code. Awesome, this is my first code. And then I just save it. I'll come back a little in a while. Just wanted to show you. Can you see it here? It's written, this is my first first code. Now this is in form of a paragraph. Can you see it? And this is a heading. And how did the browser differentiate between them? Because I wrote heading, and then I also introduced the paragraph tag. So it's very important to specifically tell your browser what you are doing. You have to tell your browser, like, this is a paragraph. It's nothing else than a paragraph. And this is heading, and it's nothing else but a heading. And I told you with headings, there's heading 1 up to heading 6. So I'm going to, this is my first task, go and write all the headings and see, just explore, practice makes perfect, and see, like, okay, this heading is mob, and then you'll be able to get the difference, because the greater the number, I said, the greater the number, the smaller the size of the heading. Okay, for the paragraph, that is how a paragraph is written. Awesome. So that is very, very important. And I told you rule number 1. We have rules here, isn't it? Rule is that once a tag is opened, it has to be closed. Unless, except, I can say, with an exemption of some specific tags we are going to be looking at. Okay? But for most of them, I said 90% of them, you have to open them and close them. Okay? That is very, very important. Awesome. Fantastic. As we go on, as I said, you will learn so much about HTML. I'll give you some rich resources that you can use to understand more about what we have just learned for now. So it's very important that we move together. So we have learned how to have our own heading. We have also learned how to introduce paragraphs. The next thing I want us to do is, I want to do 2 more things that are very, very important, and I feel like we need to do them together before I give you assignment to go ahead and research further. Is, how do we now, because our website without images, it's nothing. Sindio? If your website doesn't have any image, sorry to say, I won't visit that website. Why? Because visuals are very important, isn't it? Visuals are very important. So how do we instruct the browser that put this specific image here and this size of this image? That is very important. So we have what we call HTML images. So I want us to move together. This is a very important section, and I really want us, and I urge you, we pay extra attention so that we are not, because inserting an image is a bit confusing, okay, if you don't follow instructions. Okay, so let's now, first of all, lay down the rules for images. Number 1, you have to download your image and put it in the same folder. Do you remember the folder we created? There is a folder that we created called website. Inside that folder, create a subfolder or a child folder and call it image. In technology, we are technologists, isn't it? We have to be organized. You can't just splash images in the website folder. You have to have an organized sanduku, where you're putting all your images in. So you create a small subfolder, but it has to be within the website folder, and call it image, or you can call it images, but I want us all to call it image for now, please. So that's what I've done. Can we all do that together? Now that we have learned how to write a paragraph and how to write a heading, we want to learn how to insert an image. And for us to learn how to insert an image, the first thing tumesema, lazima we go and create a child folder in the parent folder, because the website is the bigger folder, isn't it? And then the subfolder, we call it the child folder. You create a folder called image. Fantastic. If you are done, please let me know. So that's awesome. Let me know if you are done so that we're able to see how we can move ahead. Remember, we haven't written any code, isn't it? Hatujaandika code yoyote. What we have just done is we went to our folder and we created a folder called images. Okay? Hope you have managed to do that. Fantastic. If you have managed to do that, the next thing is you have to go and look for an image. You see, remember, we want to insert an image, lazima tutafute image, isn't it? If you have an image in your computer, that's fine. But Mimi, there is this platform called Pixabay portal where I get very nice images. because when your website, okay, kwa website imaging, it's not good quality, the first thing that comes to my head is that these people are not serious. Yani they can't even create a website that has quality images. So it's very important, even if your client comes in with images, try to first examine the images. Are they of good quality? If they're not, you just tell the client point blank that unfortunately I'm unable to insert these images in your website because the images are low quality. Or if you will still like them to be there, it's fine, but I'm just giving you a disclaimer that the images won't look good. So we have Pixabay, we have various other platforms where you can get various HD images. Okay, so I love food, so I want to put an image of food. So food is babe, nice. Gosh, I want fruits, so I'll just go to fruit section. So it's called Pixabay. Let me just put it in the chat section so that it's easy for you to go ahead and visit it. Pixabay. Let me just delete this. It's called Pixabay. It's called the Pixabay. So I hope you are all seeing it. Fantastic. So Pixabay, please visit the site. They have millions of images. For I love fruits. Okay, I love food, by the way. If you want to be my friend, just invite me for a lunch, or for a I can see so many images. Oh my god, they're so overwhelming. So I'll just pick one for the purpose of demonstrating. Which is my favorite? Yeah, it's oranges. So I'll just go ahead and download it. There is a section for downloading here. These are free images, okay? So you can download it the size that you want, okay? So I'm just going to download this specific size, and then I'll just click on the download section, and yeah, it's telling me to donate because it's a free platform. So since I can't donate, I'll just ignore that. So yeah, my image has been downloaded, but mimi images zangu, as I said, they're always downloaded in the download section. Okay, you can see orange is there. So for those who, as I said, for those who have customized their browsers in a way that when download happens, it goes to a specific folder, please go and check that folder. But for me, it always goes to downloads. Okay, then the first thing I will do is I will rename. Once I downloaded the image, I will rename the image. The image and the level imeandikwa orange 19. It's so overwhelming. The text is too much. Okay, but I'll pay attention to the extension. Can you see the extension? JPG. That is very, very important because we have different extensions of images. We have JPG, we have PNG, we have web, we have so many extensions. So it's very important to have this in mind. But I'll just go ahead and right click, and then I will rename it. I'll rename it to maybe fruit. You can call it anything. Remember, for me, I've chosen fruit. So some might go for places. I told you can download anything. All right. Once I am done with renaming my image, I'll tell you the reason why we are renaming actually. Utakuja kujua baadaye. I will copy it. So I'll right click. I will copy this image, and then I'll come to my document section, to my website. I will come to my image section. I will right click and paste. Ooh, I've already gotten my image in my folder. Let me repeat this process again. Assume I've already downloaded the image. Then first thing is I will rename the image. Once I rename the image, what do? I right click the image, I copy the image, I go to my document section where my portal is, my sanduku, and then I'll go to image section, I will right click and I will do what? I will paste it there. Remember, our extension is JPG. You can see even here it's written JPG. Fantastic. That is very important. Let me know if you're done with that process so that we see how we can insert the image now in our text file. Because the next thing is we have to insert it here. Remember, we cannot just say file, upload image. No, here you're coding, you're telling it, you're telling it, how can I say it? You're doing the hard work. You are literally using codes to insert the image. But the most important thing is that the location of the image should be in the same location of your file. Our file index.html and the image folder are still in the folder your website, isn't it? So it's very important to have them all together put in somewhere. Okay, fantastic. Now that we are done with downloading our image, renaming the image, and putting the image in the right location, the next thing is now we have to now tell the browser that we need to write an image. Okay, so and the first important thing is remember we are talking about tags. Okay, when we are talking about tags, I told you tags explain what we are doing. So we talked about title tag, we talked about paragraph, we talked about heading. So the next thing we need to talk about is image. We have to tell the browser that this is an image tag. How do we tell it? We tell it with img. Once we tell it with we type img, it becomes super easy for the browser to know, okay, the person who's typing this, or the coder or the developer behind this, is trying to tell me that there's an image, there's an upcoming image. Okay, then there is crc. Crc stands for source. Where is the image coming from? That's why it was very important for us to go ahead and move the image to the parent folder, because you have to tell us where the image is coming from. You just can't tell the browser that, Ray, insert an image. Where is the image coming from? The path, that is. Okay, you see it's automatically taking it. Can you see what is happening here? The image, the source, automatically imekuja na quotes na image, like we have the letter, I don't know if it's lesser or greater. Okay, now this is the syntax for image tag. Syntax, remember I told you, is a language, isn't it? So this is the syntax for image. Okay, so this is the syntax for image. Now you can type the source of the image. The source, let's go back. Where is our source? Our source, it's in the website, then in the image section, isn't it? I don't know if you're getting me. It's very important, like, you specify where the image is coming from. It's coming from which folder? Images folder. We have website, of course, but we have the images folder. So it's very important that I come here, I tell the browser, hey, my specific image is coming from the image folder, and inside the image folder, the image itself is called fruit, because I might have so many images here, isn't it? I might have so many images here, but the one that I'm specifically inserting here is called fruit, and it has a JPG. Sorry, it's supposed to be dot. It has a JPG extension. Sijui kama unaona? So let's go again. We have the image tag. We are telling the browser this is an image I'm trying to insert. CRC is the source. Where is the source coming from? It's coming from the image. Sorry, it's coming from the image folder. Mine was, yeah, it's coming from the image folder, and it's specifically called fruit. So this slash is separating it. It's telling it inside the image folder, there is an image called fruit, and it has an extension of JPG. Any small mistake you make here, the image won't display. Okay? Such as, number one, if you miss out on the JPG, maybe you write another extension, or if you miss out on the name, umeandika fruit hapa kwa folder umeandika fruit, si ndio? Alafu kuje hapa uandike fruits with S. It doesn't automatically recognize that. It knows fruit. It doesn't know fruits. That's why you are told computer is just a dummy thing. You are the one who's giving it the instruction. It will do whatever you want it to do. Then hapa ukiandika images instead of image, kwa sababu folder yako inaitwa image, ukiandika images, still an error will occur. Now this is a kind of a special tag I was talking about. It doesn't have an opening or closing. Can you see paragraph has opening, closing, heading 1 has opening and closing, but for this one specific one, it doesn't have any opening and closing. Okay, that this is one of the special tags. So as we go along, you will learn that there are tags that do not actually need opening or closing. Fantastic. So let's see. I'll save this. I'll just go to file. I will save all this, and then I will visit my. No, I don't want to. Don't want to purchase it. So I'll go and see if my image has displayed. If it hasn't displayed, we will troubleshoot it together. Troubleshooting means like you are diagnosing where the problem is. Fantastic. Yay, my image has displayed. It is super big. Ooh, the size I've downloaded was super big. Oh my gosh. Awesome. Anyone whose image has displayed or hasn't displayed, I really want one of you to experience an error so that we learn how to go about it. I'm giving you, because this is our last task we'll do today. I'll give you some assignments now that you have learned how to insert images and paragraphs. I will give you assignment on what to do next. Remember, we will be giving you more assignments so that you do research on your end. So I'll give you assignment on how you can insert your own links, because I've shown you how to insert images. I will share with you resources that can help you learn how to a link. Okay. And yeah, the rest I'll definitely share on the group. Before Thursday, you're able to do those tasks, and then you can be sharing your screen. I can be seeing what you have done. Maybe if you have experienced an error, you can always post in the group. Fantastic. Cool. Let me go back to my chat. You know, my chat says everything. Rahma, it has displayed. Nice. Is it big? Like mine? Or you chose a smaller size from Pixabay? But please, Pixabay is not the only side. It's just because I just love Pixabay, okay? But we have others displayed. It's very big. Oh, like mine. Woohoo. Mine is super big. Like it's literally occupying the entire. Like, can you see? Like, mushaona visuals sasa inakuja kama website. This is how websites are made. This is where it all began. There's this quote that says, "It all began from HTML once upon a time." Nowadays, there are so many other powerful languages, but if you don't know HTML, it becomes super hard for you to understand the other codes, because these opening tags, closing tags, all of them come from HTML. So it's very important. That's why for this first lesson, we had to go very slow for you to understand the entire concept, because I believe now, since you know what tags are, if I tell you do this, you'll go ahead, do your research, and all. I'll share the resources with you. You go ahead and just put it in your web in your text editor, and voila, it's done. Awesome. It's very big, eh? What if we reduce the size? We downloaded a fixed size, isn't it? But we can reduce the size again. Guess what? It's very easy. I'll create a space in between the quotes, and then I can just write width. Once I write width, it's already auto-completing for me. Okay? Then maybe I can say 200 px. Px means pixels. For those who are camera people, people who like taking photos, I'm very sure ushauliza ukinunua phone unauliza iko na how many pixels? Ushawahi kujiuliza how many pixels? The bigger the pixels, the clearer. Pixels are units for measure, or for what can we say? I can say it's a unit for image size. Like if we are talking about mass, it's grams or kilograms. If we are talking about weight, it is in newtons. So if we're talking about the width of an image, it's always in percentage or in pixels. Okay. So today we are going to explore pixels. Then we have height. Height, it's there. I can say 200 pixels as 200 pixels, not pixels, pixels as well. So you can see it's the beauty about Sublime Text is that you don't have to worry. It will auto-complete everything for you. When you type to, kisha type to kidogo, it identifies what you want, okay? Then you save this. Remember, save. If you haven't saved, you can say Control S or File Save. If you haven't saved, you won't see any changes. Higher, you come and refresh your website. Look at it. Just reduced its size, isn't it, to a smaller piece or smaller version of the size of the image. So it's very important to play around with width and height so that you also don't destroy the quality of the image. Remember, I said quality of the image matters. You might get a client amekutumia images zake amekwambia umwekee, and then you see the images zimechukuliwa na phone, they are not of good quality. You just tell them point blank that the images are not of good quality. So disclaimer, if I put them in the website, it's the website, the images will they'll be of poor quality. Like just a professional manner to help them understand, because some clients do not have this basic knowledge. So yeye anakupa tu image, hajui kuwa the image you give them, they give you affects the quality of the website itself. Because if I see a website that has, you know, very blurred images, or the images are blurry, they are not of good quality, as an individual, I won't visit that website. I feel like that's a joke. I'll go for another website to get the same information. Okay, so it's very, very important to do that. Great. Hope you have managed to do that. Anyone who's stuck, maybe we can give 2 extra minutes before we end our session for today. I know it has been an amazing session for most of you. It's your first time maybe interacting with such a thing, seeing, you know, creating your own stuff from scratch. It's very simple, just, you know, a piece of communication with the text editor, and you're able to go ahead and create something amazing out of it. So I will prepare assignment for you, because since now at least you know, you have the guidelines, and you know that this is how we can move ahead with HTML. I will set an assignment where you can insert your own link. And what I mean by link is sometimes unaenda kwa website, click on that link, it takes you to another area. This is what I mean, sorry. Let me just go here. Okay, I think go up. Let me just go to Polytechnic, because I want to show you what I mean by link. All right. All right, can you see? If I click here, I click on program overview. When I click on program overview, what comes in is the link to that web page, isn't it? Now that's what we call links, HTML links. So I'll give you an assignment on HTML links, and I will also give you an assignment on how you can go ahead and manipulate a text. Like already we have paragraphs. How can you make it bold? How can you make it italicized? I'll give you assignments on that, and I'll also share with you the articles you can use to do research on that, so that it's easier for you to, you know, have it be done by Thursday. Then Thursday we can spend the first 5 minutes. You can show me what you have done and what you have achieved, the challenges you have, the questions you have, so that you can now move ahead and explore other elements in HTML. Then we call it a session for this week, because basically that's HTML. And once we are done with HTML, we will look at what we can do with CSS. Now, how can we style? How can we make sure this image is not here? It is here. How can I make sure that this heading here has a different color? Okay, that is what we will come and look at. But basically for now, that's it. Do you have maybe any questions? Anyone who's done, please type it in the group. Tabitha displayed, Lina, Rahma, thank you so much for that. Anyone who has managed to insert the image and maybe manipulated the size, maybe you have edited the size, please let us know, and then we call it a day. Image yangu inakaa mbaya, by the way. It looks horrible. I feel like returning it to its same size, but it's fine. So please also make sure that whenever you're writing the image size, you have to be very careful, like you don't overstretch the image and it becomes distorted. Okay, it's very, very important. Awesome. So if you don't have any questions, this was an awesome session. Awesome. Thank you so much, Gary and the rest. Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have further questions, please always put it in the chat section. Once I've sent you the assignment today, if things are working for you, just take a screenshot and just put it and encourage the girls in the group and tell them, hey, mine is working. I've learned to how to display an image. Hey, the link that Madam Aisha sent to work on, it's actually working for me. And then you find someone else posting that they have gotten an error, and then now you become the troubleshooter there. In technology you call it troubleshooting. You become the troubleshooter. It becomes easy for you to correct the errors of others. In coding we call them bugs or errors. Okay, so thank you so much, Ongeri and the rest. I hope you enjoyed this session. For next sessions, we'll be moving a little bit faster because at least now you have the basics with you. And yeah, will you send there? Yes, yes, yes. I will send in the group. I'll send it on the group and I'll also send it on email, okay? I'll put everything in a Google Doc. I'll put it in a document so that it's easy for you to follow. And then I'll also share with you resources where you can get that information. The reason why we are doing all this is to ensure that you also develop your research skills. We don't want to give you everything. We don't want to spoon feed you. We want to create strong minded ladies who can actually do their own research and get stuff out there and get information out there. And then what you do with that information is what will come in and support. If you are experiencing errors, it becomes super easy for us to go ahead and say, Rahma or Tabitha or Wanyoike are experiencing errors in inserting links, but they have tried it, they researched on it. So that becomes super easy for us. So thank you so much for today's session. I really appreciate for those who joined. For those who didn't manage, very soon you'll get access to this little piece of audio. It will become super easy for you to follow. So thank you so much. And if you don't have any other question, I would like to end this session. Great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lena. Bye-bye, everyone. See you on Thursday, same time, same place.